Hey guys, happy Tuesday. I'm super excited this week to be interviewing Krista. I do want to go ahead and preface next Tuesday, we will not be having this call only because, and then, it has to be a good thing if I'm not having it. Maria is going to be doing a call with Paul. And I would much rather everybody be on that call than us, have to pick and choose. Plus, I want to be on that call. So, anyway, so next week is the only week, and then we'll be right back to it. And I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware. So, kind of pass that on to your team. The link and all of the information for that will be out soon. Amber was getting it to me this morning, but she did let me know, hey, this call is going on at the same time next week, and so forth. As we get started today, you guys are gonna, for one, love Krista. She's super ambitious and such an incredibly hard worker. And I know that she is running to go 200K and probably even more excited after yesterday's announcements, you guys. And let me tell you what, now is the time for one, to believe in yourself, two, to get yourself organized and really have absolutely no hesitation in what you're doing. Believe in yourself. Okay. It starts literally with you yourself realizing that you're deserving and that you have to help a ton of people, okay, in order to achieve your goals. So if you stay focused on how others can win and how others can benefit along the way, you are going to be successful, right? So with that said, let's go ahead and get Krista's interview started. So Krista, I normally like to start these calls with kind of sharing where you were before you got started with Thrive and how you were introduced to it. Like, what was life like before to where you are kind of like when you started thriving, and then we'll kind of just go from there.
Okay, y'all. Hey, I'm Krista Purdie. Okay, so my story is a little bit different. Okay, I have a colorful background. I'll just describe it as that. Okay, so I am a recovering addict. I like to refer to myself as a woman in long-term recovery, trying to break that stigma and use different language, you know what I mean? So I did struggle with my addiction for over a decade. I got clean April 7th of 2018, so I'm coming up on 5 years this year. And I found, well, five, I like to say that Thrive found me about a year into my recovery. And before Thrive, I didn't have any family. I didn't have friends. It was just me and my daughter. She was about 6 months old at the time. So it was a struggle. Like, I was on welfare. I was standing in line at the food bank. Like, we were barely making it, right? So when you're going through that and those types of struggles, like hardcore struggles, it takes a toll on you, right? It takes a toll on your mental health. And when you're taking a toll on your mental health, you have physical stuff from that. You're exhausted. Like, that's how I was feeling before Thrive. Like, I didn't know how I was going to do it. I was questioning my life choices. Like, is this worth it? That's how bad I was struggling. Like, how am I going to continue day to day like this? How am I going to be a good mom to my daughter if I'm feeling like this every day? I was like on autopilot, just trying to make it through the day, living on coffee and just like struggling through the day-to-day motions, like on autopilot, right? So I saw my friend Kayla through social media because I had built up quite a large network on social media prior to finding Thrive, through the recovery community. I just shared my story, real and raw and transparent, because I knew that I wasn't the only one going through that. And I wanted, if I could give hope to somebody, then that's what I was going to do. I would share the good, bad, and the ugly about, trying to re-enter society after I have a large criminal background too. And that's what I love about network marketing as well, is that, we don't discriminate. It doesn't matter what kind of background you come from. It doesn't matter if you have a criminal history. None of that matters in network marketing. And that's what I love about it. So when I saw my friend Kayla posting about Thrive, and we had met through the recovery community as well. I thought she was full of schniz. Okay. I thought she was trying to sell me something. And I, being a past scammer in life, I'll just put it that way, in my active addiction. Okay. I didn't do things I'm very proud of. It's hard for me to trust and believe people. So when she's got this stick, I can't show my sticker because Jason said to put elite somewhere. And so it's somewhere I cannot show. But anyway, I'm wearing my elite today. But she was wearing her sticker where I could see it. And she's dancing around her kitchen. At that time, she had like 3 kids under the age of 5, and she's dancing around the kitchen and going to the park and doing this and doing that and getting out of the house. And I'm like, I only have one 6-month-old and I can't even muster up the strength to do that. Right. So I thought she was just trying to sell me on something. I was not about it. And I couldn't afford it either. Like I said, I was on food stamps. I was standing in line at the food bank. I mean, there was no way I could just jump right in and say, sign me up. So I watched her and I watched her. It was probably about 3 months that I sat back and I watched her. And then finally I heard her sharing her story on a live. And that's why it's so important to share your story, y'all. I heard her share her story and I listened to it in its entirety, and everything I could resonate with and what she had already accomplished. I wanted that. So I finally reached out to her and I was like, I need to try these products. Like, I'm exhausted. I'm not being a good mom right now because I'm napping every time my daughter naps. And then when she's up, I'm ready for another nap. Like, I don't want to live my life like that. So I started with a mini experience because that's what I could, afford at the time. And thankfully I was a day 1 thriver. And that just changed my days right there. That first day I could already tell a difference in my energy. I didn't want to take that nap when my daughter was laying down. I was like, I get to actually like do stuff while I don't have to nap with her. I can do things while she's napping. I can get some stuff done. So that's when I fell in love with Thrive that first day. And I know not everybody is a day 1 thriver, but thankfully I was, because I was in the position where I don't know if I could have kept going after that. So yeah, that's what my life was like pre-Thrive. It was just, I didn't really have a life. I was just going through the motions and trying to do the best that I could to be the best mom I could. But it was hard. It was hard because I was exhausted. I was struggling mentally, physically, financially, all the things that you can think of. I was struggling with it. So, Thrive was my solution. I don't know how much further you want me to go, or if you want to ask something else, or that was pre-Thrive. I can't hear it. You're muted. I was like, wait, is my phone broke?
No, I do that so I don't open my big mouth and I make a lot of noise sometimes. I really want to point out a lot of objections I heard here. Okay. Because I think it's important that a lot of times we think that somebody's not watching, or maybe somebody is watching, but we feel like we're not reaching people and so forth, right? This just goes to prove, you watched her for 3 months. But even before that, you got to know her. You were already sharing your story. I guarantee you right now, there are a ton of people on here that have not truly shared their story, or maybe they've just tried to say what these products do for them. Okay. But I need you to understand there's a big difference between telling what these products do for you and sharing your story. All right. There's a huge difference in that, actually. And the reason why I say that is because when you're just sharing what the product does for you, you're missing all the other parts of who you are. Okay. And yeah, you're talking about being tired and seeing her dance. You guys, how many of these calls have you been on and you have heard somebody saying they watched the person and they saw them basically come to life and have the things that they want, right? And you have to take like money and finances and all of those things out sometimes when it comes to that part. But also, you heard Krista say that she was going to food banks. She was skeptical. She comes from a background, where there's things that was criminal, right? There was things that there was addiction involved. And when you come from that background, right, you're going to be hesitant to believe a lot of stuff, right? And that has a lot to do with the things that you've been exposed to, the journey that you've walked up until that point. But you sharing your story prior to Thrive help build your following. A lot of people are kind of starting from scratch, right? And some of you guys might be like, well, I don't have this rags to riches story. I don't have this addiction story. I don't have, you guys, every single one of us has a story, right? We have something that we've walked through in life. And I'm not saying that you need to spill the beans on everything, because I believe everything or everybody should keep certain things private, right? And understand sharing parts of your story does not mean you have to share every part of your story. You don't need to expose things you're not comfortable exposing to the world, right? However, even talking about overcoming things without mentioning what those overcoming things were is going to help somebody, right? So I think that's important because you kind of entered this business with already sharing a testimony of some kind, nothing even about this product, nothing even about this industry, right? So people already were growing that know, like, and trust factor with you because you were walking a similar journey as them. So really kind of each one of you guys on here today, how can that apply to you is that really sit down and think about what your story is. Where can you help somebody through where you are in life right now? Whether it's with this business, with these products, or even just with your experiences, right? Because you can't be focused on every single person you talking to wanting to order your product or join your team. Okay. Some of those people are never going to be interested, but some of those people are going to watch for years, sometimes maybe 10 years, maybe whatever, right? But they are going to be the ones that refer other people to you that they know because of what you shared, right? Because their friends may share something similar or maybe going through the same walk. And just know that if you stay focused on helping other people along the way, it's going to be beneficial. But then also, I think it's cool that you literally were like, I was broke. I didn't even know how I was going to order. And you went from, food banks, but you found a way to get a mini experience. You tried it and you were a day one. So let's kind of go from there. How did you, because I think a lot of people, no matter if you've been working your business consistently, okay, or you literally have been sitting on your hands for the last 6 months or years or whatever, maybe you just restarted, okay? So we're going to pretend like everybody's just restarted their business because everybody just got reset, and every single person, unless you're already in your VIP period, is eligible to get their VIPs right now. So Krista, how did you back then and now kind of launch your business? Because I think this is important for each one of you guys to understand. You can do this starting now, right now. So will you share kind of how you went about like sharing this with everybody?
Yeah. So so I started with that mini experience and I fell in love, right? But I still didn't have the money. But guess what? We hear this all the time that price is 99.9% of the time not the real objection, right? We have to dig a little bit deeper. We have to have those hard conversations. We have to build that relationship with people, and we have to find those objections, find what it is when they're like, well, I can't really afford it right now. Well, like, like, okay, well, what's going on in your life? Like really getting to know them and figuring it out, because I couldn't afford it, but it was important to me. It was important to me to be able to show up for my daughter. It was important to me to be the best mom that I could. It was important to me to want to get on the floor and play with my daughter. It was important to me to want to get out of the house, right? Like those things were important to me. And we find money for the things that are important to us. I buy things all the time that I probably can't afford, but it's important to me. So I'm going to find that money. So that's exactly what I did here. You know, I purchased my first month because I didn't want to go without while I was like working towards starving for free. So that's what I did. I figured it out. I figured it out and I bought my first month, and I've been thriving for free ever since, thankfully. But yeah, so
I think
what
that's like key because, I mean, I think most of us could say when we bought our first pack, most of us didn't have like a ton of money floating around extra, but
exactly.
I think it's key to one, find a way, and you can do that through mini experiences, you guys selling mini experiences or selling like, I don't know, miscellaneous things that you've been meaning to sell anyways, that's laying around your house that you don't use.
Get
Uh,
creative.
yes, getting creative with things, but also one other thing, I think it's a very big key for not only starting your business, but continuing to run your business wisely, is that if you put it in, you want to get it back. So, like, even when I first started 10 years ago, it was everything I bought. My first goal was to make all that money back with the products, right? Was selling samples, selling off what I had on hand because I didn't want to carry stock. So did you get experiences? You came up with the money. Did you get experiences out? Like, did you build your business by social media? Mainly,
Yeah. So
yeah.
yeah. So like I said, I had already built up a social media network by sharing my, my recovery journey. And it wasn't just about like recovery and addiction. It was just me. I was just sharing my life already. And I was sharing like my struggles with being a single parent. And in recovery, and like my struggles with mental health. Like I just put myself out there completely raw and transparent, because what I wanted to do was just give hope to somebody. And it wasn't me. I had wrote this down too because I wanted to share this, is like, we can share our struggles, you guys. It's not about, we don't have to be happy all the time. We don't have to, just because we're thrivers, that's going to shut you down real quick, and that's going to take the joy out of this. You can share what you're struggling with, but also in the same sentence share like, I'm struggling with, you could, I mean, I don't know if it's, I mean, me personally, I'm just going to share what I share. I struggle with mental health, right? I have a lot of PTSD from things that happened in my childhood, and I'll share about that. And it's not me complaining, or I'll share about finances or whatever. It's not me complaining, because I follow that up with, this is how I'm getting into the solution. So I'm, through my self-development, which is what we work on here at Lavelle, this is how I am using my self-coping mechanisms to make it better. Or, if I'm struggling with whatever you could be struggling with. My brain is swirling right now, but whatever you could be struggling with, you can flip that and you can share that and have that relatability with your audience, but also at the same time make sure that you're sharing how you're getting into the solution. How are you making it better? So you can still share your life transparently and be relatable and share what you're struggling with, but at the same time share how you're getting into the solution and what you're doing to make it better, because you're going to inspire somebody else to do the same thing, and that's going to make them gravitate towards you. They're going to be like, well, I want to follow. I'm just looking at Heather Lane here, sorry to call you out there, I can just see your face. Like they're going to be like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to continue following Heather's journey because I'm struggling with those same things, and if she's finding ways to get around it, like I want to keep up with her. Like I'm going to make sure she's coming up first in my feed, right? So being able to be real and share what you're going through, we don't have to be happy all the time just because we're thrivers. We're just real people that feel better, right? We feel better. It doesn't make us happy all the time, but we feel better, and it makes it easier to get through the day-to-day struggles of life, because our bodies are feeling better. We have the energy to get through the day, whatever life throws at us, because regardless of if we're thrivers or not, regardless is if we are thrivers or not, life is going to knock us down sometimes, right? But we have the energy, the stamina, all the things to continue to make it through the day. So I digress, and I will squirrel a lot, y'all. I will get off topic.
No, I think it's perfect, because I think here's what and I hope everybody understands that, is because we do, and Chas says this all the time, we do life together. Okay, we do life together. And you guys, as perfect as some lives may look on the outside, everybody is going to have loss at some point. Everybody is going to have illness at some point. I hope people don't have divorce, but unfortunately it happens. I hope that, you're going to have marriages, you're going to have childbirth, you're going to have just a lot of things that are going to happen throughout your journey, right? And I think it's important. Some of those things that you share are going to be inspiring. Some of those things you share are going to be educational, right? So like something that you've been through, by sharing how you're getting kind of through that, that's educating somebody. It's also inspiring somebody how they too could get through it, or maybe somebody they know is getting through it. And that is just like you're sharing your part, but talking to people, right? Talking to people like in your audience. And then sometimes, you know what, you're going to entertain people. That's what it's going to come down to. Sometimes it's just going to be your part of the entertainment, and maybe you're evoking some kind of emotion. And by entertain, I don't mean like ha 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 ha. I mean literally you are evoking an emotion of some sort. Okay, that might be a sad emotion, it might be whatever, but it's a heartfelt thing. And that's not to get a sale. That is literally to make the connection, and to help other people. So through your story, that's how you're going to connect, right? So I think a lot of people would benefit, and I think this would be good. You were growing through sharing your story. Did you add people? Did you join groups? How did you go about? Because I think a lot of people get stuck with this. They have their warm market. That's like the people they maybe worked with, went to school with, their family knows, they've met in their city, town, whatever. How did you expand? Because a lot of you guys don't know how to expand your businesses, and you're like, okay, well, I do all these things, but how do I reach new people with my story? I think that's
That was probably my favorite part. Like when I started this business, like I did already have a little bit of a I was fortunate that I had quite a large social media network. But like I said in the beginning, I didn't have any family. I didn't have any local friends. It was just me and my daughter in the beginning, right? So I had my online, my social media community, but I grew in groups, right? So it was, now when we talk about our 5 things, I still don't have 5 things. Sometimes it's hard to come up with 5 things and you know what? One of your 5 things can be, I'm still finding myself. I'm still trying to figure out who I am, and let people know that, because I promise you there's going to be a ton of people that are still trying to find out who they are and what they like too. And if you share that and you share that transparency, people are going to be like, dang, man, that sounds like me too. Like I want to go on this journey with you to self-discovery. Like opens up a whole new network for you, right? But the things that I did know about myself in the beginning, which wasn't much, because I've only been an adult for 5 years, y'all. Like really, I started, I know that this is trigger warning to anybody. I don't know what you guys struggle with, but I started using at a very young age. At 12, I came from a super broken home. Both of my parents are addicts. So I started using at 12. So statistics show that your brain stops developing at the age that you start using too. So I've only been an adult for 5 years. So I didn't know a lot of what I like to do or what my interests were. I was on that journey of self-discovery, but I knew that I was in recovery and that I could connect with those types of groups and recovery groups, women, single parents, single moms. I found out that I like to paint. Like I was in acrylic painting groups, like, and I thought that that was like one of my favorite parts that this is my job, because it was my only job, because I couldn't get a job because I couldn't afford daycare. I was literally struggling that bad in the beginning that I couldn't afford anything. So it was like make or break here, right? And I was so grateful to find Thrive because I was passionate about it. These products changed my life so much that I was willing to shout it from the rooftops. So I would go into these groups and I would make connections. I would make a post, an introductory post. If I went into a new group, if one group had died out and wasn't working anymore, I would go into a new group, and I would introduce myself, and I would post a picture of me or me and my daughter, and I would say, hey, my name's Krista. Thank you for the ad. And then let's say it was a new mom group or something like that, some type of mom group. And I'd be like, I'm looking for something a little bit more natural for my daughter's eczema or something. Do you have any recommendations? That would be my first introductory post, because it was an open-ended question. So people would not just reply, like comment and say, hey, welcome. They would say, well, I use such and such and such. And so that was an open invitation for me to jump in their messenger and say, I really like that answer. Can you give me more information on that product? Boom. Like, and that's not weird for me to send them a friend request, because I'm already having that conversation with them in Messenger. So you can get really smart about this, you guys. Like, I'm not making friends with any and everybody. I'm not going to make friends with any warm body. I want to make friends with somebody that I can actually build a relationship with, right? Something that's going to be a sustainable thing in the future, somebody that I can grow with. But groups were huge for me in the beginning. And that was what grew my network so much. And I felt that that was so cool that all day long, I just get to talk about things that I love, that I enjoy. And that's how I get to grow my business. How cool is this? Like, I just get to
I'm glad that you grew in groups, because I over the last few years I've gotten a lot of my new following, because at one point in time I was maxed out on friends. So like I would have to go through and I would be deleting accounts that were no longer active, or they had 20 accounts or so forth, right? So I'm going to give you guys a couple tips based off what Krista was just saying. She joined groups that were specific to real life situations that she herself was struggling with, had questions about, had interest in, right? So like, you don't want to just join these groups, and you don't want to join 20 of them. You want to join like one or two, see how they are. And then you want to make sure that you have something to post about, an open-ended question, right? So those people are going back and forth with you, that you see a post that you too can like give also some advice, give your experience on. So Krista just ran off a couple of the ones that she's joined. I can tell you, when I had my gastric sleeve surgery, I joined gastric sleeve groups. I just went through a divorce, 2.5 years ago. So I joined the divorce group. I also joined parents with ADHD, parents of teenagers. I joined different groups throughout the years based on where my life was, okay, and stuff I was struggling with. And then things that I had questions about and needed to overcome, but also because I was in these groups, I also gained knowledge and was able to reply and answer questions for other people. And like Krista said, that's when you can get in people's inboxes. That's when you can shoot those friend requests, because now this person's commenting and giving you value. Now you've given this person value. You've built a connection, right? So Krista, that was such a golden nugget, because you just don't go into groups and just start adding people. They're going to probably spam you. And I do want to leave one last tip before we move on from this. If you're going to go into groups and you're planning on working groups, make sure that you have some relatable things on your page. And it's not just like you go to your page and it looks like a wall of advertisements. You obviously want to let people know that you're a thriver and you have something to offer, but you also, if all you're doing all day long is just posting, there's a fine line. You don't want people to think that all you want from them is for them to order from you or them to join your team, because that will make people unfollow you, block you, unfriend you real quick, or not even accept it, right? So make sure you're bringing value to it. So maybe do like a social media audit. Do people know you're a thriver? They need to, right? Do people know a little bit about you? They need to. Are you interacting with other people? Because if you're not getting likes and comments, you're either not bringing value or you yourself are not interacting with others, right? So that was a golden key. Krista, how did you, do you get samples out? Because I think a lot of people struggle with samples. Since you came in with a sample, I feel like you probably do.
Yes, our whole team loves so many experiences, because a lot of us started with many experiences, and we know that, I mean, minis are where it's at. That's just where it's. I don't shy away from many experiences, and don't, because I mean, you never know. You never know what that mini experience is going to do. Now I personally, I let my team and my promoters choose what they want to do, and like charge, some of us, charge from it. I personally do. I want to put value on my product. I want people to see that I see value in it, and I want them to have, anybody's going to take anything for free, right? Like, you're walking through the mall, I'm going to take all the samples from the food court, but am I going to order from them? Probably not, but I'm going to take that free sample, right? So that's just something I wanted to throw in here. So I personally charge for mine, and then I let my team know that they can do whatever they like. It's their business, right? And then if I do free mini experiences, I put people through like a process. Like, I let them know what they can expect from me, but this is what I expect from you. And that is, if I'm going to send you a free mini experience, what you're going to need to do is, I want you to post when it's on the way. Okay. That you're trying something. You can keep it super vague, like, I am starting something new and it's in the mail today, I can't wait to receive it. I ask them to do that and tag me, and that's how I'm going to help them thrive for free. And once they get their package, I want them to take a picture with their package, like, oh my God, I get to start tomorrow, like, let's create that excitement. And then, of course, their day 1, day 2, day 3, I want them to share their honest review of how they're feeling. What is Thrive doing for them? With even the littlest things. Are they sleeping better? Did they notice that they didn't need a nap during the day? Did they need that cup of coffee? Like, whatever the case is, whatever they're feeling, I want them to share about that, right? Because I tell them that that's how I'm going to help them thrive for free, because they have to tag me. I put them through this whole process. If I'm willing to send them a free mini experience, then this is what I expect from them, and this is what they can expect from me in return. And we just had this happen, and she, like, it was just setting those expectations with somebody, and knowing that that's what they're going to have to do. It just, when you're setting those expectations and they already know what to expect, so they're more apt to do those things. And we now have a new promoter that's hitting the ground running just from a free mini experience, right? So it's kind of like touch and feel. But yes, I love mini experiences, and of course, we like somebody to come in and trust us and jump right in and order their month supply, or if they are interested in the business opportunity, to jump in and get a promoter pack. But that's not always the case, and I'm not going to push down, like, what my words aren't coming to me. Words are hard today, but I'm not going to make myself small in my growth and just think that I'm only going to get those orders, right? Like, I'm going to do many experiences, and of course I'm going to push for that order first. Now, if they can't afford it right off the bat, or like and this is something else this is something I had learned. I can't remember who had said it back in the day. It's been a while. But oh my God, y'all, I'm sorry. A thought will come into my mind and I will lose it so freaking quick. Oh my gosh, Amanda, I
Well,
forgot.
what, maybe it'll come to you while I say this, but
Okay.
yeah, you guys, even if you give, see, nothing is ever free, right? So even though Chris is like, yeah, I gave a free minute. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. She charged them making their post, them creating their account, them sharing the post, tagging her, those things help that person thrive for free. Those things help grow her audience, because then once that person has tagged Krista, well, when somebody comments, Krista's going to friend that person. Krista's going to make sure that person has that person's customer referral link. Krista's also, by then, teaching, hey, this is how easy this business is, if that would be something you're interested in, but this is also how you can get this product for free with referrals. And then those people's friends become your friends, your referrals, your customers as well. Eventually, sometimes promoters. That also grows it's the cheapest way to grow your exposure, right, is through other people. Word of mouth. Word of mouth is number one in marketing. Okay. People are going to trust people's opinions of people they know first and foremost, before they just trust sometimes a random person. Now, does that mean they always join that person? No, sometimes they end up ordering from this cool ad that looked awesome, right? But that is something I think everybody needs to understand, is that always putting value. Don't just send an experience. Don't just hand somebody experience. They need to make sure they create an account and go through the funnel. If you don't know what the funnel is, it literally is that you want to make sure they have their free customer account, because you want them signing up with you. You want to make sure that they are tagging you when they have an experience on their way. If they're a little gun shy, sometimes I will do this. Instead of them posting about the on the way, I will tag them, but they have to accept that tag. Okay. They have to accept that tag before that goes out in the mailbox, or I hit okay on send. And I will say, Sarah, Amy, Jessica, your experience on the way, and I'll make the post. And then it shows up in their timeline. Okay. But when it comes, they have to post it, and they have to tag me in it. Okay. And I prefer that they share. I'm super excited about getting started tomorrow with this, and then them come on and share their experience. And you guys, it does not have to be anything massive. Like literally, I got out of bed and actually had energy today and didn't just stay in my pajamas, is a huge feat for a lot of people. Okay.
Huge.
Yeah. Huge, right? So creating value for that product, and yeah, not just giving things away. I think also, do you have a really good follow-up system? Curious on that, because I think people need to know, those people that maybe you send experiences to, follow up with them now.
Now especially now is the time to follow up with any and everybody with what's just been announced, for sure. But before I forget this again, because I remembered what I was going to say a minute ago. So when I'm sending a mini experience to somebody, y'all, and this is for my personal people. So when I'm sending, if they're choosing to start with a mini experience, right? If they're like, well, I can't really afford to jump right in and, get my month supply. And I'm like, okay, well, we can definitely start with a mini experience and we can work with that. But let me go ahead and say this, because I know you're going to fall in love. So once you get this mini experience and you fall in love, like I know you're going to, are you going to be able to invest in your month supply after that? Because I don't want you to have to go without, after you run out of your mini experience. I don't want you to have to go without any product. So they're either going to say, hell yeah, or I don't know if I don't think you got it, Amanda. So I was like, can I cuss on this thing? Because I have a potty mouth. So my team knows. Like, can I cuss on this thing? Because I don't know if I can not do that. So that's what I tell them. I'm like, okay, so we can get you a mini experience out today, but I know you're going to fall in love. So are you going to be able to, invest in your month supply after your mini experience is up? Because I don't want you to have to go without this. And if they're like, well, finances are kind of crazy right now and I just don't know what I'm going to be able to do right now, then I say, that's fine, that's great, let's wait, and I'll wait to send this mini experience out until you're ready to invest in yourself fully, because I don't want you to fall in love with this and it really change your days in just this, these 3 or 6 days, and you not be able to continue. So when you're ready, then get back to me. I will always have it. I will always have this here for you. Or they'll be like, hell yeah, if I like it, if it's what you say it is. And I don't promise that they're gonna feel a freaking fantastic. And I just say like 80% of people, feel a difference between day 1 and day 3, but some people it takes a little bit longer. So you set those expectations so you're not backtracking. Once they get it and they're like, I don't really feel much, then you're not like, well, you're trying to like be backtrack and like trying to figure out what to say because you promised them that they were going to feel, stars and unicorns jumping over rainbows, their first day, right? So set those expectations. That's something that I learned over the last 4 years, is that setting those expectations and being real with people takes you so much further, you guys. So I just wanted to share that really quick, is that I don't like to waste my product, and so if somebody is not going to invest in themselves after this mini experience, they're not going to be able to afford it. Or I will say, if they can't afford it, are you willing to, let's take this mini experience, right? Let's invest in this mini experience, because I'm still going to charge for it. Let's invest in this mini experience, and I will show you how to turn this 3 or 6 day mini experience into helping you thrive for free. Like I'm talking about, we're going to change shirts. We're going to go to a different room. We're going to create like content for the next 2 weeks from that 3 day mini experience. I'm going to take, oh my God, I just have DFTs right here, but we're going to take pictures of DFTs by themselves. We're going to take all 3 steps together. We're going to go outside to take a different shirt with your DFT. We're going to create content out of that. If they can't afford it, if they can invest in a mini experience, but they don't know if they're going to be able to afford their next pack, I can help them thrive for free that way, right? We're going to create enough content to continue posting. I have them document in a journal. This is something new that we just started too. Like every day, I want you to write down exactly what you're noticing. Did you notice that you didn't need that cup of coffee? Did you notice that you didn't crash in the afternoon? Did you notice that you slept really good? How was your mood? Like, I want you to write all that down, because those are the things that you're going to continue sharing as we're helping you thrive for free, so you can get those thriving for free credits the following month. Okay, so
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely, you are setting the expectations for them, right? So like you guys under promise and over deliver, basically. Here's the thing, everybody's body is different, and I'm really straightforward with people. Like I don't sugarcoat things when I'm talking to them. I'm like, are you planning on changing your diet? What do you eat on a daily basis? Like, how is your diet? Because here's the reality. Calories in, calories out are always going to be a factor when somebody is aiming for a weight loss goal, but they're going, just like Jason says, if you're eating Oreos like every night and going to McDonald's every day, you cannot expect to have massive, ridiculous results on a weight loss targeted product, right? I had gastric sleeve surgery, you guys, but if I chose to eat candy and chocolate and chips and all this stuff every single day, instead of eating my protein, vegetables, taking my supplements, well, I would, one, gain my weight back because it would be unhealthy calories and fat. I would also not be giving my body the fuel that it needed. So really, I have those discussions. Like if they're wanting to get weight loss, then I'm going to make sure that we're having those discussions, that these are the products, but these are also like, what else are you doing in order? Because this isn't a magic pill. While this is an awesome supplement and these are awesome products, you want to work with those products, not against those products, right? Because that is what is going to help everything kind of come together. So, and then also, you guys, here's the thing. I saw over here in the comments, somebody were like, well, what if they don't do this? Well, here's the thing, guys. This is why you want to make sure you are putting those expectations, if you're doing a free example, that you are creating their account. No. They're getting their account right now. Like they're giving you their information and that account's being made, right? These are the expectations. When that comes, well, they're supposed to be doing these things. If they don't, unfortunately, that's a lesson learned. That is a lesson learned, and that's on them. But this is what they're supposed to be doing, right? And then you can follow up with them all day long, like, hey, remember, you're going to share your story. So you've got to make sure you're doing your end and you're following up, because they let you know, hey, that experience got here, or I'm trying this today. Then you're messaging them on day one and saying, hey, don't forget to post your story. You told me you would. Remind them that they said that they would, right? Remind them that they need to tag you, because remember, that's your job to remind them. You are the promoter. They are the customer. And yes, they're getting the product, but it is your job to remind them to tag you and to follow up and to see how they feel. Because they're not just getting up the next day and taking the product and then you're not checking on them. So you're going to be checking on them and being able to say, hey, don't forget to put this out there today. And if they are not on social media, then that does get a little bit tricky, because then you have to rely on them. Hey, I would do this, you guys. If they're not on social media, I would have them refer two friends to you in order to be able to get the product for free. So I would make sure there is an exchange for sure. Can you give me two people that, might be also interested in trying this product or would be willing to share this? If you can get me those two people and they'll create their account, then you can have a sample for free, right? Because that also is helping get the exposure. It's helping right out of the gate. If they can give you two people, two referrals, boom. All right, they just earned their free experience. So them creating their account, them sharing it, them getting you referrals, that is going to help your business grow and help your exposure, help reach new people, and advertisement, right? So Krista, let's talk helping your new promoters getting started, because right now, you guys, duplication is so key. And while we are, yes, we could talk about, like, Krista is going, you guys, she's aiming, I know she is, for 200K. So she's getting her team organized. She's getting herself organized. But let's talk about that brand new promoter getting started out of the gate. How are you getting them going? Because each one of you guys, this can benefit you for helping your new people and also your own daily IPAs and getting started.
Okay, so really quick, I want to share about the mistakes that I made, because I'm going on, in April will be 4 years with Lavelle. And I made a lot of mistakes, right? I've only been an adult for 5 years. I've never held a real job. I've never done sales before. I've never done any of this. So there was a lot of mistakes to be made, right? I was leading a lot from hype. Okay. And don't get caught. This is going to be like my biggest piece of advice when we're talking about enrolling new promoters during the biggest freaking bonus season that we have seen, right? I led from hype in the beginning. Like, yes, this is crazy. And you can be hyped about these bonuses. You can be hyped about everybody getting ready to do their VIP bonuses again. Like, that is so freaking exciting. Be hyped about that. But I'm also about setting expectations. Okay. I like to set expectations. I'm not promising anybody that they're going to sign today and they're going to earn all their VIP bonuses and that 4K bonus right off the bat. Just to backtrack a little bit, when my first year, they did rank advancement bonuses and I hit a $12,000 bonus. And as a single mom, that changed my entire life. And those are the same bonuses that are on the table right now. That's an extra $1,200 a month, you guys, plus your auto bonus. That's $1,500 a month. That could change somebody's entire life. And that's what it did for me. And then in April of 2021, oops, I should turn off the notifications. In April of 2021, I was going for my 80K bonus of $80,000. And I was also getting ready to undergo open heart surgery. And I really needed this bonus. I know I'm looking at the time, but I really wanted to get this story across. I knew this was a pre-existing heart condition, and I knew I was going to have to undergo like an extreme open heart surgery. And I wanted this 80K bonus for me and my daughter so bad. I knew that I didn't know how long I was going to be out. That was my first surgery. I'd go big or go home. Right. And so as I was pushing for this bonus, I wasn't working it sustainably. Yes, I wanted it so bad and I wanted it for my family so bad. So I was leading from hype and I was signing any and every warm body. I didn't even know how to lead at that time. I wasn't ready to be an 80K leader. I just knew I wanted that 80K bonus. And And so I share this because, I earned that 80K bonus a month or two before I went in for my open heart surgery. And I had to have a surprise pacemaker put in as well. So it was a trying time for me. And I wasn't able to maintain that bonus. I maintained it for about 3 months. And then I lost that rank because I was not building sustainably. So if I can get any message across today, is to make sure that during this bonus season, because we have so much on the table and we have the ability not only to change our lives, we get to impact our lives by impacting the lives of others. And we have to make sure that we are setting those expectations for people. So if you're onboarding a new promoter, to find out what their goals are. Like, are they trying to go all the way? Like, I know like when I came into this, I wanted to go all the way. I wanted to be a 200K millionaire. I wanted to create generational wealth for my family, but that's not everybody's goal. Some people just want to come in and earn a couple extra $100 a month, thrive for free, and continue working the other job that they're super passionate about. So you need to find what exactly their goals are. Okay. That's the first conversation that you need to be having with people. And then you can set expectations from that. So somebody that wants to come in and make a couple extra $100 a month and thrive for free, that workload is going to look different than somebody that wants to come in and go all the way. Right. And I let them know that. I let them know that, yes, you can come in and earn some crazy bonuses in your first 14 to 21 days, right? Depending where you live. But after that, it takes time to build residual income. Thankfully, we're in a season where we are in a bonus season, so you can earn a lot of money right now. But by setting those expectations with my promoters, I have one that I'm looking at right now. She's just on my screen, Amanda Harberth here. I was not ready to enroll anybody after I had lost my 80K rank. I lost, and I was going through a separation as well. I left an abusive marriage, and it was just 2022 was rough for all of us, I think. But it was a hard year for me. And my friend Amanda up there hit the promoter button without telling me she was going to hit the promoter button. And I was scared to death, you guys. I was so scared. I was like, I'm going to let her down. I don't know what's going to happen. And thankfully, I was able to set those expectations with her because she wanted to go all the way. So I said, this is exactly what you need to do. Like, I need you to know that we're going to get these VIP bonuses for you. I'm going to do everything I can to help you. I'm going to connect you with the resources, y'all, because we have so many resources available to us. We have them in the dream team. We have just even in the cloud office alone that we didn't have all those training videos before. Like, you have the ability right now. I don't care if you've never hit a rank before. I don't care if you missed your VIP. Now we get to re-VIP, but I don't care if you missed your VIP bonuses. You have everything you need right now in this moment to help somebody succeed. All you have to do is connect them to an upline, a sideline, to that cloud office. You have everything you need. So don't hold yourself back saying, well, I haven't achieved this yet, or I'm not thriving for free yet. No, you have every single thing you need right now in this moment to help somebody succeed. Okay. You can lock arms with somebody and you guys can do it together. But my friend Amanda right there, that I did not want her to hit the promoter button, just a couple of days ago, ranked 12K and earned her auto. And then we got those announcements that said January counts. So she just earned herself a $12,000 bonus too, baby. So I just wanted to shout that out real quick. But it's because I set those expectations, and she'll tell you, I set those expectations with her from the beginning. I went ahead and went through objections with her. I used to shy away from objections, y'all. I was so scared to hear somebody give me a reason why they were scared to do this. I was like, I just wanted them to say yes. So just say yes and let's go. But now, learning from my mistakes, and I am grateful for the mistakes I have made. I'm grateful for losing rank. I found gratitude in that because it made me a better leader. It made me a better It made me a better friend because I know what to do now. I learned that you can't get anywhere and be successful without failing over and over and over again. And that's what I did. I failed a lot, right? And now I'm in a position to where I can be extremely successful and help my team become extremely successful as well. So now when I'm onboarding a new promoter, I look for those objections. Like, is your spouse on board? Like, what's your family dynamic look like? Are you like your finances? Like anything that could be an objection that could come up 3 months down the road, 6 months down the road, a year from down the road. I want to go ahead and get to those objections in that first conversation. So it's not the reason that they quit 6 months down the road. Before bonus season, I would let people know, all right, we can earn these VIP bonuses, right? And that's a good chunk of change, right? You can earn a huge fat paycheck. But after those VIP bonuses are gone, your paychecks are going to drop. And I'm going to let you know that they're not going to be the same as those VIPs, right? You're going to have to build your business. It's like we just get to see profit way sooner as if you went to a bank and got a loan and went to open up a restaurant or a clothing shop or whatever. We get to see that profit so much quicker, right? But I let them know that it's going to take time, right? It's going to take time to build your customer base. It's going to take time to find people that are going to join you on this journey. It's going to take time, but stick it out with me because I promise it's going to be worth it. I'm going to connect you to the resources. I'm here by your side. Throw me in all the 3 ways. That's how you're going to learn to talk to people. Like, I really get super honest with people. I'm not scared for somebody to say no to me anymore, where I once was before. I thought that one conversation was going to be make or break for my business. It meant if I was a good promoter or not. No, if they leave that conversation, even if they said no, if I made them feel better by being honest, then that was a good sales experience. That was a good sales experience. So I know we're getting close on time,
This
but
is so much fire. It's so fire. Go.
I could tell, I could talk forever, but that's just the things that I've learned over the years, y'all. I made a lot of mistakes and there was times where I wanted to walk away. I was like, how can I come back from this? Like I said, I lost that 80K bonus. I got like 4 bonus payments from that. And thankfully, this girl over here is glad I ain't re-ranked 80K in 6 months because I get to go for an 80K bonus again, baby. How great is Lavelle for letting us re-rank, man? Yep. I am so freaking stoked.
Well, I'm going to make a prediction because I'm going to tell you something. And you guys, I do not know Krista's organization for nothing. I bet you Amanda's going to go 80K and you're going to go 200. And the reason why I'm predicting that is, for one, I know the momentum that happens right now. Okay. And I can tell you guys this, if you are focused on the duplication process, and you have to be focused on the people that join you winning. Okay. You have to be focused on not just you going 4K. What about those people that got you to 4K? Because if you want to maintain, they got to be winning. Okay. So if you want to go 12K, well, then you better have some 4Ks that are sturdy. But guess what happens when they get to 4K? It don't stop there. They're either going to dream or they're not. Okay. If they want to go to 12K, well, then guess what? You're not done. 3 people go 12K, boom, you're close to 40K. Guess what happens then? That person gets hungry because now they're almost halfway to 40K. Guess what? You keep on running, you guys, because 3 new 40K is 120K in volume. Well, now you got some new people that are seeing this inspiration happen. Boom, you just went 200K. You see what happens there? The momentum happens. It happens, okay? And when you win and they start winning, it is an explosive thing, and everybody can get dollar for dollar match right now. Plus, if you help other people win, you're going to get those matching bonuses. You guys, this is a recipe for go time. So you cannot do the work for them, but you can guide them, support them, share all of the resources for them, but they themselves have to show up. Each one of you have to show up. You have to do the work to get there. But if you pour that belief, most people are not going to have it. So you got to believe in them before they believe in them too, right?
Amen.
Mm-hmm. And I promise you guys, Krista, this call was perfect for today, because every single person on here should know, sharing their story. Why? Okay. This is why. Getting these samples out, getting that new customer, making sure they're sharing that they're getting started, how to get their referrals, helping that new promoter get started, helping them go find out what's stopping them from going, how to grow your audience, within groups, how to also help them overcome something, right? How to overcome it. And if somebody's not ready, meeting people where they're at, remember, not everybody's going to be excited about the dollar amount. Some people are going to be excited about the product. Some people are going to be excited about the community. Find what it is that they love about this and then help them win. I don't know a single person that doesn't like to celebrate when somebody wins, though. Okay. So I really don't. Like, I mean, if somebody on my team, they have X, Y, and Z as their goal and they hit that goal, buddy, I'm doing cartwheels. Okay. I'm doing cartwheels.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
any last minute tips before we get this payday is about to happen? And you guys, I promise you, every payday going forward in the rest of these next like year, I'm just gonna say it. As long as you are focused on people winning, it can be life changing. All right. It can be
Life changing.
Oh,
Okay, so this is what I'm going to leave you with. You guys, as we're going into this crazy bonus season, okay, it doesn't, at first I was like, oh my God, I kind of got some PTSD from bonus season, but now I've learned how to work sustainably. I wasn't building a sustainable business before. So now I'm excited about this bonus season. So when you're going into this season, okay, I want you to organization for one. Make sure that you're staying organized, however that is, if it's virtual, if it's on your phone, if it's on your computer, if you got a planner, 5-subject notebook, whatever it is that works for you, get organized. Who are you having conversations with? Who are you sending minis out to? What day are they on of their mini experience? All those things. And I know it can be tedious work, but I promise you it's going to help you grow in the long run. Okay. So organization is key. And then customer retention, customer service, love on your customers. I made the biggest mistake in the beginning of my business. I was like, because I grew fast in the beginning, but I also wasn't following up with those customers. I was just like, oh, I got the sale now. What rank do I need to hit next? How many more customers do I need? I made those mistakes, you guys, and it came back to bite me in the ass. I almost lost everything because I wasn't focusing on my customer retention and loving on my customers. So as you're going into this season, that could change your life completely. And not only your life, but the people that are trusting you to join you in this journey. It can change this is going to be a life-changing year, you guys, like, but beyond what anything that you can imagine. I mean, shit, I had to get a passport to go on my first getaway. I'd never even been out of the country. That's how much LaBelle changed my life. Like, it changed it on every single level. So as you're going into this season, just make sure that you're keeping up with your customers, you're loving on them, you're helping them thrive for free. It's not only helping them, they're getting excited about having those credits load into their account, but that one customer just turned into 3 customers for you, right? Like, if you're loving on your customers, you're following up with them, you're keeping up with them, you know who's ordering, you know who you're sending minis out to. Just stay, it's all based on like organization and keeping up with who is trusting you to join you in this journey, and finding those objections with the people that are joining you in this opportunity. That's my brain went squirrel again, but yeah,
it was incredible. All
build a solid foundation, you guys. Build a solid foundation. So long after this bonus season is over, you want to be able to maintain it. It's not something that you're running for crazy hype, like signing any and everybody. Yeah, anybody can earn a bonus, but can you maintain it? Can you maintain it? Can you help your team members maintain it? That's what you need to be focused on. How are you going to build a solid foundation to build upon after this bonus season is over, that you can continue to grow after it's gone? Boom, done. That's it. That's all I got.
Mwah! That was gold. You guys, I'll get this recording out ASAP. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Thank you so much, Krista. That was with bomb.com. And like I said, you guys, I'll get the recording out ASAP. Everybody have an amazing day. Happy payday. Don't forget to share. Bye, guys. Mwah.